I think each decade, well, brings with it its own set of realizations you have to absorb, you know, in your 30s,
I had surgery, I couldn't do it. Oh, no, I haven't.
And so, you
I
know,
was swallowed. So I'm still eating just much.
Really?
Wait.
Having something for all kinds of life, otherwise, not even thinking that, first thinking about him.
No.
Let's do.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I need
interesting.
No, I left the house.
Yeah, you see, care of
And you
going.
wake up with that when you're singing.
I have to do December. That's all I mean, not December, in March. It started in December, yeah. December to March.
You know, it's good. The good outcome now is that it stays.
No, I know,
the same. It
yeah.
doesn't get worse.
Well, that's the thing, you don't know, let yourself, by attrition, you get any.
Yeah, you have
My
to.
folks are 85.
Okay.
Well, and that was just for 2 years of cancer, rush, lung cancer treatment, fine.
Yeah, it was.
The doctor said I would have never, but the man you raised through the.
But it must have been pretty
Every day and all. But, you know,
Otherwise,
he says, yes, getting old is will be crises. I wake up in the morning and I am sore and.
Takes longer to get going.
And then after a while, I'm like, well, kind of, feel bad, you know?
Yeah.
The process.
Man, I remember when I was in my 30s, I leave out of bed, put on even my active class or whatever,
Yeah.
Ashton class, and like no start time at all.
After rolling in at 2 in the morning.
No, it's not the same now. Except for Bob here, he's in pretty good shape, you know.
Well, he's got that new knee, so he's.
Oh, you got a new knee.
Two knees and a hip.
Wow, that's great.
And now I need two little feet, that'd be perfect.
Well, we'll have as much fun as we're permitted to have here tonight. We've got 2 items. We got a regular COA to review.
Yeah.
And you've got this other. All.
And that's.
Yeah, it's public. Yeah. It's not a-
Well, actually, open it.
Got to bring a flash for you.
Yeah.
Put it in your door or something.
No,
No worries.
For that, and, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a chance.
Okay. Thanks.
I asked Keisha to bring my paperwork up. Is Rick coming tonight? Do you
Did
know?
I get any? No.
Okay, must be. in the
I don't-
office. So message said I would. Now.
Okay, oh, lucky
Today?
Well, I had them 6 years ago. So. I
Summarize
had
that story.
problems and I was there yesterday and he says, yeah, we need to address this. Right. Got a question. Can't say that later. Really have problems, which I would already was. So when I went to make the grocery, I actually want to get inflation tomorrow. Well, I haven't heard it talking.
Well, you didn't have to wait.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Exactly.
So it's.
So I'll give you the back,
Oh, yeah.
whatever, but still,
Yeah.
it's better to get it done.
Shots.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you had to wait a weekend, we give you.
Actually,
You don't want that, you
I know, exactly.
go to a committee.
At least you didn't think about it. Where'd you go? I got a skill, since that's.
Yeah, it's,
That's where I've always thought.
yeah, well, I think we need marks. Glasses and just recommend them.
I think it's more base.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sure.
It's waivers, legacy. To the no, it's down in Golden.
Oh, okay.
It just said, professional. It's not goes.
Okay.
So I've been there.
So you need that.
Yeah, it seems like we were just.
Right, at least not-
I do have a parcel in that.
That's the better part, though, because I don't know about it.
Yeah.
That clear, it's like in Denver.
Bob, you know,
Hi, Bob, I'm Keith Watson. Nice to meet you.
I'm not taking the scarf off, I'm telling you, not doing it.
Georgia?
yeah, you from back east, you are, okay, we lived in, Monroe Village,
Okay,
up, Pike Horse Trail.
oh, okay, yeah, my cousin, they went to.
Oh, I heard that.
Okay.
My dad.
That's where
It sounds like, oh, I'm having a leak.
Yeah.
Drop there.
And so I sent a text to go. He said, I love you or something. I said, "It's specifically something else."
You spend,
I know you will. And then they all became work related, like, darn.
Yeah. Yeah, I went there.
Well, now they're on the phone.
You know, I'm just like, have something in or.
we're watching the.
It's, I originally.
Right.
So that's right. Okay. Okay, I'm from, a place called Linden, New Jersey. And we're right at the Staten Island. So.
You can do the report span and
To
sometimes.
Atlanta. Which is, back then I could see.
Yeah. And nobody. No, get it on the list and.
No.
Yeah.
Almost on the border, yeah.
Hindsight, I should have.
Okay.
One.
Okay, I don't. Okay, I don't. I have a bit of a partner now.
Okay.
So.
You hear some upstairs.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
My best friend down.
I'm doing some projects with your girls. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I pretty much stay at 25 designer.
And then you start.
Once the oldest check.
Somebody else has
Yeah.
So that was, who is this Larry?
It's not really good.
This is, for now, it's supposed to, it's spam, exactly, sequels. You can at least.
All those heritage companies.
Yeah.
Work by entire career.
Yes, yes.
Save.
The only bad thing is like if I call like years or something that I know already, so I'm expecting a call back, then I haven't got answered.
Yeah,
If I say.
myself, but, I also.
I can see that. Exactly.
He was like.
But sometimes they'll call from their office number.
We started to.
I'm expecting a call back and it's like, okay. At the time it is.
With the fall. But I mostly went out to.
There was some stupid insurance. I said, hey.
Stephen Kohler.
He says, oh, okay.
I was first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Residential. Harris.
No, I wish.
Guys, it was a fun job that I was.
Yeah, they don't want to solve it, that. Should have put that one.
Yeah. I probably got 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay. I was asking, I said, yeah.
Close the office and.
She has to take that one out for a week or two, right?
Denver. So you can visit your clients. You take a project, you down here.
I've got to do that.
The location.
There's not a lot of them doing it. That's good, there's not a lot.
I had on like, December, so.
It's like grandparents. My whole.
High school career.
Yeah.
Me, so
Yeah,
I-
no, I just.
I never.
Good job, for it, really. Yeah, miserable outside.
She's like, I'm done with it. I moved him out.
Looked at everything on the. Sure, you looked at everything on the. You did? Okay. Well, you're at the same time.
Yeah, you know, I brought you.
Good at it.
I moved there, my sophomore year, just like one of the coaches.
Did you?
I don't know.
So I fixed it and it gets. Yeah, that's what I mean by.
Yeah.
Although that's a first of tech actually. Okay. In this case, it'd be. Right, and whatever else.
Okay.
It was a tough watch.
But it does, I was like. All of you got was bread from the side, you're going for 5 years and parts.
I got all this stuff.
That's.
Yeah.
Held up.
No, I was more. Very confusing when you put all this stuff, yeah.
It's 16. Oh, sorry.
We're late, folks. Let's call the meeting to order. Would you take the roll, please?
Come on, Joe Eaton, Sean Platt.
Here.
Cindy Neely,
Here.
Betsy Blakesley, Mark Reynolds, Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Frank Ganzer.
Here.
Somebody coming up.
Okay,
I'm ready.
okay. Can we have approval of the agenda, please?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'm second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay. And audience business, we have audience business tonight. Keith?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you don't have to stand up or anything if you want to just kind of roll this chair over to the middle and.
Well, hi, everybody. My name's Keith Crossick and,
Sorry, how you spell it?
Huh?
How you spell your last name?
Bross as in Sam, ICK. And, I just moved to town about 6 months ago after coming here for about 5 years and just decided this is where I want to kind of settle down. And, I understand that you are looking for a architectural consultant for the DRC. And I've been doing residential design in Atlanta for about 30 years. I studied architecture at Georgia Tech. I just want to be able to give my services to the town in any way possible if it's needed. So,
Well, that would be a welcome addition. It's always nice to have kind of professional opinions. Britt is also an architect. He's one of our members and is too busy to actually be our official advisor, but it's been very helpful, with his knowledge too. So that would be great. And, you already applied for it.
I have not, I just was coming to introduce, Cindy and I spoke on the phone, I've been talking to Cindy about what's the obligation, what's my responsibilities, what is gonna be expected of me, so now what I'm gonna do is write the letter of intention, and I'll go ahead and I'll send it off to Kasia,
Okay.
so
Oh, nice.
You are a licensed architect.
I am not. So, I don't know if that would be an issue.
At some point, yeah, I never asked you that on the
Sure.
phone. I apologize for not asking you that because we, as a certified local government,
Mhm.
we, if we're gonna have somebody as an architectural consultant, we end up reporting to the,
Okay.
the state,
Sure.
on that. So I don't think that keeps you from sitting in, but I think that ultimately,
Okay.
that would be important.
Is it just that you're not licensed in Colorado or not licensed in Georgia?
I just don't have a license at the moment, because I worked with an architect by the name of Kenneth Lynch out of Atlanta. And, I just have never, it was never a necessity there for what I was doing. But I do have 30 years of experience doing it.
Yeah, that's the same thing right here, so they never pushed it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you know what, I just need to get registered.
so I mean, is that a deal breaker or?
I don't know the rules.
Well, I don't know the rules either. I mean, I really don't.
Okay,
Technically, you're not supposed to call yourself an architect if you're not licensed.
That's
You look at the DORA rules.
Yes.
But an architectural advisor.
Yeah,
The architect would be-
I submit your letter, let us look
Okay.
at investigation on
okay,
what
yeah,
that
and it just, whatever's required, I
That's
will
right, I don't.
look at
I need to
resolving
go
that.
back to our, actually, to our founding kind of agreements, because it says that, we
Yeah,
somewhere, and actually it's in the legals, so we will check that out.
okay, sure.
Is our board full right now?
Our board's full, yes.
I was gonna recommend, if you wanted an alternate, you could maybe fill that role.
And yes, we always want to know.
Okay, yeah, just however you need me, I'm here.
Yeah, well, maybe your letter should say that you would, be interested in either role.
Okay.
Because actually it's sort of the same thing, you're either sitting at the table or you're not.
Sure.
Because you live in town, so you could build an alternate role.
Gotcha, okay.
And then you could. Have a person on the board.
Because if you're an alternate, then if when somebody's absent, you actually do get the vote,
Okay.
and that helps us.
Okay.
Because it helps us with forms, so.
Yeah,
So
once in a
that's-
while, there's one of those nights where we go, yeah, we're gonna have a night. It's been me, like, sorry. Okay,
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and I'll do the letter of intention, we'll take it from there.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
everybody knows. Okay, so we are going to move down and do the public hearing first. And so I will now open the meeting as a public hearing to renew the certificate of appropriateness for Bighorn Crossing Development. This is from February 23rd, 2023. So is there any?
If you like, I can give you a quick staff report.
Okay,
I'm at the commission's disposal,
okay, would you please?
but might be helpful, kind of set the stage for you, whatever discussion you like, is that all right?
Certainly, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm Jerry Dahl, town attorney. You have a memo for me, which is dated, I think, yesterday. And the reason it's dated yesterday is that was the board met on Tuesday, as I reported in the memo. And it wasn't possible to put this together until they had met, so that we'd have something to bring to you. And if you looked at the memo, I won't bore you with a lot of detail, but you well know that this lot 5 development received a COA from you February of last year. And as I understand it, you went through, there's Kurt.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Sorry.
I think there was so many semis on the right side, and the cars are going at 20 miles on the left side.
I saw that about an hour ago.
So in any event, that COA was issued in February, and you went through, I wasn't here for it, but everyone else was, and I know you went through the usual, thorough process that the DOC has, resulting in that COA. But that COA has expired because no building permit was pulled within, I think, 6 month requirement to maintain the COA active. Meanwhile, it became apparent that there were these 2 plat notes on that property requiring that, some of the units be dedicated for hospitality units. And you're probably aware of that history when the project was originally approved in 2017, early 2018. There was a need, perceived need anyhow for the hotel to be able to be a larger, have larger square foot. And the way to do that, the workaround for that, to be very honest, was to designate hospitality units for the duplexes that are being built. And there are, 7 in place now, 7 duplexes in place. And those were denominated hospitality units so that effectively they would operate as additional rooms in the hotel, thusly expanding the legal area of the hotel and achieving that goal. And so that's done, and those hospitality units or those duplexes remain subject to these plat notes. Meanwhile, there's this vacant parcel, lot 5, that does have hospitality unit plat notes on it, or did until Tuesday night. And those are no longer necessary to support that hotel use, and instead are now burdened on that lot 5. The current, this company's Centennial Opportunity Fund requested that the board of selectmen remove those notes. They denied that request a few months ago, probably 2, I think, in November. There's a lawsuit filed. The parties actually sat down. The board had a study session with a Curtin company, and they were able to settle and resolve that, and in part require a couple of things, not least of which is affordable housing units in each of the 5 buildings that are proposed that you have actually issued a prior COA for. And so that settlement agreement got together, and on Tuesday night, the board of selectmen approved a resolution that approved that settlement agreement, and also approved the removal of the plat notes, and so that's ready now to get recorded. I do emphasize that the existing duplexes, that those are owned privately by private owners. Plat notes still apply to them. The hotel still can call on those duplexes to serve as hotel rooms. That's not in front of any of us because those are other private owners, individual owners that own that. They may or may not go to the board and ask for those notes to be removed with respect to their properties, but that's not the case in front of us. The settlement agreement specifically then does request that the DRC undertake the question of renewing the COA, because without a valid COA, the plat notes are done. Now they have clear title to be able to build these units without having them be burdened by hospitality units, but they don't have a COA, which of course is a precondition to building permits. So that's the request of you, is to renew that COA under the theory that you have seen this project, and I think you saw it exhaustively. It's been described to me, and the request is now to renew that COA. Kurt, do you want to add anything? And then,
In a lot of ways, it was my mistake. The COA states you need to pull a building permit. I received a letter from Jerry, which was correct. He was going through the development agreement, the SIA, all the different things that we needed to do to start our development. And one paragraph was that there will be no building permit issued until these plat notes were resolved. So to me, I sat there and said, okay, well, I can't pull a building. I mean, it'd be easier for me to go and get the building, to just pull a building permit. I thought I needed a building permit. And so I sat there and we worked on getting these plat notes and getting everything done, which we finally did on Tuesday. But all of a sudden, 180 days seemed like plenty of time. 180 days went really fast. So we have not changed anything at all from what you saw before. We've completed the as-built and provided that to the town as well as to Brian, who have been satisfied with that. We've done full, complete engineering plans. Those are new and ready to go, and Brian has gone through that. So we've spent a lot of time working with the town to make sure that we have everything ready to go.
Can I ask one question?
Sure, you bet.
Before we get to.
The affordable housing? There's one unit in each building,
Yes, there is.
truly affordable housing?
It's exactly how your code is written, the affordable housing requirement. It's 120% AMI is what I can charge for rent.
Okay.
So I'm just complying exactly with what your code is.
Which the board of selectmen.
Nothing, the building doesn't change at all, it just.
No, nothing, it's just one of my units, just one of the units per building will be
Subsidized or whatever.
correct. It'll be comply with your code.
That's not our business.
Sorry.
No changes to the design, window sign or anything like that?
Not at all. If you want to see it, you can. It's exact same.
Could we close the public hearing before we get?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the building, sorry.
Well, nothing has changed, he says, so
Okay, sorry.
we're just here about renewing the COA.
Yeah, but we should close our public hearing so
Yeah.
we can have a discussion.
Okay, do we need to have any public comments?
Well, is there
For
any
me?
public that wants to comment?
I'll just-
You heard from Barry?
Is there anyone?
Yeah.
I'll just add one note, that these affordable housing are deed restricted, and it does comply to our code.
Okay,
So staff has worked it out.
okay.
And that also is
Well,
our business.
I'm just here in case the DRC has any questions on what went on at the meeting on Tuesday and our whole process. Some of the unfortunate delay was because there were a lot of questions on behalf of the Board of Selectmen about what were the consequences of changing those flat notes? And unfortunately, it dragged out long enough that the expiration rolled around. And so here we are.
And I will say that I get it, that your scope is the COA only, but I think it's fair for you to understand the context in which that decision is made. I wanted to make sure you heard the context and we weren't like hiding pieces of the larger context from
No,
it.
I think that's appreciated, but I think before we start
I
discussing,
understand.
we should close the public hearing and see what this board has, if they have anything that's on the actual application.
Okay, so if there's no more audience, comment, we'll close the public part of the meeting. And then how about board?
Well, because I would say on behalf of this board, that what people running out of, given when our building seasons are, this is certainly not the first time we have looked at somebody who has come who's needed to renew and extend a COA. And it has been traditionally the opinion of this board or the decision of this board that if nothing has changed in the application, that we extend the application. I think we're all aware that if you applied in September, everything could have gotten ahead of you and you weren't gonna make it by March. And you certainly weren't necessarily gonna break ground in January or February around here. So this is not our first. So I would like to review with Kurt for a minute, these are the exact plans that we approved.
Correct.
Okay, because we worked hard on these things.
Yeah, and as I told you when you did it and you completed, I was very appreciative of all your efforts. Because you provided me some great information and I think we came up with a great design. In the exterior, you had some great comments about the exterior and they're all consistent with what we will be doing.
And the other one I wanted to look at, because we also were, I mean, I see the planting, but we also, looked at one thing I didn't see was the organization of buildings on the, and we talked about that also when we were discussing.
On the site plan,
On the site, with no site plan,
there's no-
the site plan was.
Is it still this?
Yeah, the only site. plan
Yeah,
was on this. Yeah.
That was the previous.
I think here's, I'll just give you what I,
Make sure that our president was saying it's actually rather than.
Still that one? That was.
yes, it's exactly, yes.
Okay.
So. it's
That was
exactly
done
what's
for you.
shown on the front.
This is exactly.
Yeah.
Part of the exact.
Okay, yeah, no, we've got that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because as I recall it.
No, and that was another thing that I was very appreciative of your comments. I think we designed it very well and we adjusted those building positions, so it wasn't so blocky and I thought it really was a great job.
And the parking's broken up.
Yep, yeah, that was the other thing was, yes, and we made all the adjustments, everything that we discussed is there.
Okay.
I mean, I second what Cindy just said, that, you know, this happens a lot. So if there are no changes, I see no reason not to extend it.
Are you making a motion?
So
Do I hear a second?
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very much. I will pull a building permit.
You know, there are other processes that we do understand, and sometimes this happens.
Wait for day 179. We're good.
We will get started right away, trust me. I'm not gonna miss a season. I want this complete, if I'm sitting here next year and it's not done, I'm gonna be crying.
Yeah, I don't wanna be sitting.
I know.
Thank you so much for taking us at the top. It's
Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
in this room a lot longer, so.
I'm gonna get over the 2 passes before there's.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Signature. Okay. Or the original. Okay, you can do that. Perfect.
Yeah, but anyway.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Next up, we have, student Sarah Meehan, block 52, this is non-contributing structure.
We approved this, it was contingent on a window schedule and time.
yeah,
The sign in specific was the siding for the summary space.
Yeah.
And Asia is bringing up their sample, I knew that question.
Yeah. Well, this one,
they submitted a sample, that's probably still not upstairs, or maybe they took it back. That basically was a foam-based product.
That's just.
You see, I have that one too, but I think this one, yeah. Away.
The phone-based product seemed like it would last about 5 minutes.
well, you can imagine if I had
That's the weight of the sample.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, and I did
See the cutoff.
do a little research, and it is concrete based.
Yeah, you can see on the end.
Yeah.
Joints together. The particles.
So I'm gonna mess up. It's real. Yeah, I tried like 3 times to get in to see the old sample.
No, my like.
I finally made it yesterday to see the old sample.
Yeah, the old sample was quite
It
interesting.
was,
wasn't it?
very like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
yeah.
How about the window schedule? What do we do on the window schedule?
Yes.
Here. Because we have asked, well. It's interesting, we have a schedule, window, but we don't know where they go. On the road.
Well, I've got the plans.
They do say what room they are. We go, yeah, we do.
So I've got the
Well, we
plans.
approved the layout
That's probably window.
of all that stuff, so.
Right.
As long as the
One
size
that
is.
had-
What was it? Yeah, one window that had 16 little lights in it or something. It was-
Some of the windows had
This is the old plan.
a bunch of,
Ah, okay. All grids. Kind of low strength to have 4/1, but if it's consistent in the house, it's, you know.
Yeah, there was some like that in another. So is this the new one here? That's the old one.
Yeah, and this, and I believe we asked you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good gosh, please. So everything goes to this,
Basically, yes, I think so. I didn't see any of the big,
so these are those.
great room. Yes, that's the great room doors.
I believe we asked them to
So that.
simplify to the front of the house, match the front of the house, or eliminate the grids.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
so.
it looks like that's what they've done.
That's a good, that's what it's up there. Yes.
This is base in the basement. These are those floors. Because this is basement in the house. Back.
Oh, that's, okay, so this is the great room, and this is the basement, okay. So if they're either plain or.
Oh, come on. And, you know, if it's consistent, and as a matter of fact, because you can put buttons in windows and then you have. It's really.
Sounds.
Yeah, you have them on the front, when you,
Yes.
yeah, okay. I think if, once they clean these, divided them. They'll be there, they don't have to wash them. I have thrift stores like that, oh my God.
Yeah, now looking at the size and see.
Okay, so are we good with?
yeah, I don't think we need these sightings or anything, they're just following up
They're
on.
just going.
And I would move that the submittals for the project on block 2, lots 24 and 25 are acceptable.
We'll be interested to see if others will join someone, but I'm not worried about it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Thanks. Is it?
Yeah.
So,
Going to it.
we have CCR.
Not worried about it.
Staff Colorado Preservation Saving Places Conference. I have got a confirmation from Jen that we have 7 of us registered.
Yes,
Are you going
yes.
as a volunteer? Okay, and are all the rest of us registered?
This is a 1-day thing.
No. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay, January 31st through February 2nd.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's
Yeah.
31, 1, 2.
So we have 7 people every day registered.
One,
I've registered for online attendance, so
That's usually what I have done. So
I received something a while back that I registered.
Saying I received something, I don't remember what it
Okay.
said.
I think Sean is the only person that's not registering. Because he's gonna be marked or.
Okay,
I think so. There's some very interesting, as a matter of fact, clarifications there. They're doing a whole bunch on the Main Street program for towns and stuff, which is actually sort of beyond this commission, but is interesting. And, there's a lot on townwide presentation, which is interesting to me. And I think maybe at our next meeting, if we can print one thing of the various,
The schedule.
the schedule. Betsy and I will be there for Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday,
Okay.
because we arranged to stay down there, so we will be there, and then, yes, we trust that you guys can work out. Who is school, but actually, I was pleased that as I looked over it, there was sensible things for us, in each day. Okay, so good.
I have the show.
Samantha, you know, that schedule is not the easiest thing to find, even online. So
Yeah.
if we can gather that and just ship it out to everybody electronically.
Yeah.
It would be really good, okay?
No problem. They're not very responsive. I will, and I've called them too, and maybe it's because of the holidays, but, well, this is for the next agenda.
Yeah, but they do have a schedule online that we can,
Yeah, that I can get for you.
Yeah, so you can take a look at what things that you're
Yeah,
interested
I
in.
found the schedule when I got that flyer and received that last month.
Yeah. And you looked it up online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the schedule too enough, so I read through it and said, okay, this is. Yeah. I have. Recommendations for you, for that to be there. All right, where are we on the rest of your update?
Updated COA, which if you could pass that around for me. So last time I had added the survey, if construction takes place within 5 feet of property line to minor and major projects. You asked me to add to minor projects, photographs of proposed changes in context, not enclosed. I also added a zoning check and a utilities check to this major projects list. Partially for myself, so that I remember to do it, even though I have some other things, but also we already include a zoning check with all of their applications on their major projects, so I thought we should add it to the list so that they know that needs to happen. And also, you know, there's just been, it seems like there's a lot of people who aren't aware of the utilities check ahead of time, so I thought if it was on here, it would just make it impression for people, so let me know what you think.
But one of the things I think is that on the application that people get online, they never see this.
No, it does look different on there.
Yes, well, this is usually printed on the back of somebody's application, and people aren't actually using it to check off. So if we can figure out how to fix this online, so that when you download your application, you understand it's a 2-page application. And you understand that the idea is that you check off the stuff that it says that you have to bring it, because I think that that's a large piece of the problem.
Pretty easy to fix it up.
I can just, well, yeah, so it is a 2-page document online already. It's just the second page. So the way I could fix that is just make this the first page and then the application the second page. And then people would see it.
And yeah, because we also need to indicate on it that this should be completed by applicant.
Mhm.
You know, it's required submittal, completed by check it off. Because, yeah, we had trouble with people getting,
You can speak to Jen Gowski and she can create a fillable PDF out of that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Are we keeping the 3/16" scale?
Just gonna ask that.
Since nobody draws a
That's
3/16" scale.
does it, and yeah, we were just looking at that on the preliminary reviews.
on everything.
Oh, it's all trying to call that out to
Because
everybody.
nobody brings it in that scale anyway, so 1/4 inch.
Yeah, scaled 1/4 inch drawings,
Everybody.
are what people do. The problem is that we have in our books, we have a section that is scaled drawings. And those are 3/16. The reason we have the section in our books is if we want to compare to how something looks, we could take the sections in our book.
Hey Cindy, how about we redo the pictures in our book?
I guess, and that's what I'm just.
Or if they give us scalable PDFs, we can scale it to 360. If it's not just a scan,
Yeah, most people don't do that.
well, we can fix them in our book.
It might be
Some
easier just to review on pictures.
Because that's the purpose of these, and so that we get a comparison, and so if we just take
That's
these
super.
and rescale them to the right scale.
It's the
new scale.
So that we can take, and actually to start using them.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be really sort of cool thing, and the reason we don't is that nobody is coming in at a 360.
So, yeah, let's change that to,
In the, right under the heading, it says the building inspector is required to review. That's.
Not true,
doesn't happen.
doesn't matter. Staff,
Yeah,
our staff is required to review, so it should not say right up top. It's not the building inspector. Now, what's interesting is the ordinance says that the building inspector will do all these things, that the
Yeah.
building inspector doesn't do, that's a different problem. But we
Maybe
should
that's
at
when
least let, we should at least let the applicant know that they don't have to try to get a hold of the building
Yeah.
inspector before they submit one of these applications.
And that was probably in when we had our own inspector.
That's right, when we had our own inspector, that was true, the building inspector did what the law said the building inspector was supposed to do.
Right.
But at this point, the building inspectors don't do anything.
And then down under the major projects, we have the 316s. Again.
And we have it under preliminary reviews.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so I have changed building inspector to staff. Update the 3/16 to 1/4 inch and also update the books maps to match that.
The book, yeah, they're not maps, the book drawings.
Right, the drawings, okay. Did I miss something? Did you say something
And
about
came
that?
out the building inspector.
Okay.
Down at the bottom, it also says, when, the repair thing, please check with the building inspector, please check with staff.
The fees are wrong too.
The fees are wrong too, okay.
Oh, that's not important.
What are the fees?
I know minor project is 60.
Okay.
I think major project is still 100, but I have to check.
Now I can update the book elevations once, that's easy. I can update the book elevations.
That'd be great,
That's
'cause I have no idea.
That's easy.
Okay, thank you.
I have the software to do that.
And then I also noticed for major projects, the project adds enclosed building square footage. I think the definitions are, major projects are anything over 50 square feet or something like that.
I think it was a shed is a minor, so it's probably 120.
Okay, so I'll update that and then put a little description under minor projects as well to match. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Well, it's really good to go over all of this on the,
Yes.
and it gives us time to actually build it now.
I'll get it done.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Tracking sheet's going well so far. I didn't really have anything to show you necessarily on that, but if you wanna look at it, let me know.
When building permit applications come in, we need to review them Maybe at some point I can get together with you and maybe I'd like to put together some kind of a checklist that we could use for that, at least as a guide.
Yeah. we can do that. I got my first building permit for a COA that we've done today, so we can work on that.
Good, so
That
just let me know when you want to get together and take a time.
Okay,
Because the tracking sheet also says that we would check before it's submitted to the building department, right?
Before, I think,
Probably when it's,
before it gets approved, for sure.
So
Probably
the plan-
they may do it in parallel.
yeah.
Yeah.
in parallel makes sense.
there is, you know, after the certificate, you see, because quite often the certificate is based on elevations, it's not based on construction drawings. And construction drawings and elevations may differ. And so the first check
Mhm.
is of the plans before they go to the building inspector. And the second check is after they're,
When it's built, before they go for it, like a final inspector before they get a.
right, so it's checked before the building, before it goes to the building permit, and then after it's built. Those are the two checks, so when you're getting ready to send something off to Safe Build, it should get the check, and that's what comes up. Okay, that's before they have even looked at it.
And the
We
one,
wanna know that that's.
the one set of plans I reviewed before it went to building, it would be nice to have a copy of the plans that were approved here. So we can see that they made the changes.
Yeah, that's what that's what I usually use, I'll pull it from Jennifer.
Jennifer didn't give me the new one, she just sent me the new application, and I didn't know, I didn't see the old.
Okay,
Okay,
I
so.
pulled them out of my file, but hold that in,
Got it.
would be helpful.
because.
I'm not going to help with that one. I'm not going to help with that.
There's really not a whole, I mean, it's, the elevations are the big thing, and then dark sky compliant and, you know, make sure they have those to paint everything on everything that sticks through anything. Materials.
There's still a lot of stuff around that hasn't gotten done. Right across from, if you're sitting at the gas pumps at the Georgetown Market, and you go across the street on Rose Street, one of those little houses, that's big shiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting the.
some of that it gets added after they get an occupancy permit too.
Yeah, well, it's still shiny.
I mean, I definitely have noticed that, okay, that wasn't there 6 months ago.
Let's think they'll find out. Check my-
That's been there for a while, but it's definitely, and it's noticeable, like right on the front of the roof and
But
stuff.
we now have the cloud in the code that we can send them a letter because they're responsible to adhere to the requirements in perpetuity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it is, the chimney stack to be on the outside stacks and just gathering.
Well, we're down at Cabot Creek.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm talking about a house.
No, well,
Yeah.
you know, I just nagged Sean on the house that's 2 doors down from me. He said, you know, when are you gonna paint those stacks?
Before we're done, Chair.
It's funny, it makes a huge difference in the way a house looks.
Yeah.
Just to get the.
They just disappear.
They just disappear, you make them black, they just sort of disappear. I
Into the house floor.
I was so glad. It's just out of kindness. Okay, but I do think that yes, if you and Robert can get together on how those plan checks happen, it would be very, very helpful.
You wanna stop in tomorrow?
And the other thing is we have to be careful that whatever we require to show up on the certificates themselves. I'm looking at Kurt's certificate, and it says it has nothing under stipulations. That's not what our minutes would say.
Oh, no, which one is that?
That's his original, for the apartments. His original certificate. No, you had stipulations, they.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you gotta be application.
Where's that one? Because they are on the application, they just don't end up showing up.
Well, we went through everything for a while, I'll make sure that Jen, have serial killer handwriting, and so we had decided she wanted to print them onto the things, and I think some got missed for a period. So I think I will just, very carefully try to write things on when I'm doing it, so she doesn't miss. I think that maybe will happen.
Well, it just in case at this point.
Okay.
So she can make sure that the stipulations show up on the certificate
Yeah.
itself and not simply in our minutes.
Well, they'll be on the application when I'm writing it all down while we're doing it, and then, you know, for the actual certificate where they get it, and you can read it, you know, 'cause Jim can read my writing, but most people can't. So, we'll make sure we get that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that one?
Okay.
that one is-
Yeah, I would like, I'd like to make a suggestion that we look into putting some kind of a checklist together, something that highlights the key things that we normally are concerned about. So that when they get the COA, they also have kind of a checklist of, okay, these are the things you need to pay attention to. Because the stipulations help. Quoting the stuff in the book, people don't even look at that. But if we have some kind of a master checklist that we just include and check all the stuff off, then at least they know that, okay, this is what we're gonna be looking at. So that may come out of what
you
Paige
think.
and I do, that,
Yeah.
make it easier and something more binding, and more informative to the applicant.
You know, we've redone the application form a few times. The last iteration somehow got where I don't have this is where I write the stipulations now, and it used to be more like where it was part of the application, and then I signed down at the bottom, and it doesn't really matter, except I'm thinking maybe we need for stipulations and any of the things, just an additional page where that gets written on, then they can get a copy of it when they pick up their certificate. Instead of trying to write all the stuff that I had here, it's on something that they can get a copy of, and it goes along with their certificate, and it will say, see page 3 of applications, or whatever, instead of me writing it all on the line and squeezing it in.
I think anything that can make it more visible to the applicant, that, okay, we're concerned about this stuff, so we'll pay attention to it.
You're talking about the decision form, yeah?
Yes, so on here.
Because the applicant never sees the decision.
Yeah, and we write all the sightings on here, which they're not gonna go look up usually, but the stipulations, they would, oh yeah, we gotta do the
Yeah,
trim this way and all the stuff we stipulated.
Yeah, because the
This
ones
will
I've
say-
done, I wrote on the COA certificate
Yeah.
itself and then sent that to them, so I didn't send them the decision form, but
Yeah,
we could have both.
Yeah, or else get it onto the COA in a way that, but you got one little line.
yeah,
up
you've got
there,
two little lines, and sometimes there's quite a bit, it's hard to read. So, yeah.
Maybe even on the back of it.
It could, yeah, stipulations on back, then you have to copy 2 sides, then you got third page. So,
You understand the problem, so let's,
Move past it.
let's try to figure out how we're gonna.
I'll come up with some things to show you for next time. Okay.
I've suggested to Kay, we extended Kurt's, permit. We numbered the permits all year long, and I think we were number 36 or 37, 38 for 2023. That she take a look and see how many of them are actually expired permits. Because I would guess that we're gonna find a handful.
The COAs,
What?
the COA is not permanent.
Yes, expired COAs, expired COAs, and we should know when we have expired COAs, that would be handy.
Well, they could just be on the calendar with the expiration date, so. it would
Part of
say-
my tracking list
We'll
has
use
the
that.
expiration date.
Yeah, we'll do that now, but I just thought it'd be interesting to look back on 2023 and see how many of them
Yeah.
in that
Well,
position.
would it be worth somebody, like, when you see one's gonna expire in 2 weeks, give them a call and say, are you still planning to do this
I
project?
think we let them expire, but. They don't expire, so that somebody's not coming along and, saying, yeah,
Okay,
so we know it has expired.
okay. How about streetscape research?
Yes, so I pulled the categories from the Denver one that you sent me. I've contacted Crested Butte and her name's Jessie. She's gonna send me some of her streetscape guidelines as well. I also contacted Breckenridge, if he hasn't emailed me back. Actually, no one's emailed me back, but I think it's because my email was broken for a little bit, so I will check in with more people. And yeah, but there's, you know, there's like street trees, lighting, pavement types, there's some categories. I'll have a full report for you next time, just wanna let you know kind of where it's.
Good.
So,
Okay.
Super, working on it.
Chateau Chamonix fence.
yeah, so I just, you know, they seemed pretty confident about putting the fence up at the board meeting after the DRC meeting, so I just wanted to flag it for you guys. Because their application to us did not include a
Did
fence.
not
so,
include any fence.
Yeah,
Well, and originally, we had one about a tall fence all the way across the north side. And,
8
and
foot.
driving down the street, it would really impair the little barbecue place, their visibility and stuff. It can't go out past their,
mhm.
Well,
They're
they
fine.
can't go anywhere. It wasn't on their certificate. They cannot put up a fence at this point.
yeah, but just so everybody knows, looking at it, that would not be appropriate for there to have big fence totally blocking the neighboring.
Well, and I think it was kind of a weird tension between, like, a lot of people are kind of nervous about the clientele that they're putting there, and wanted them to make it like a secure facility, which is not what it's intended to be. So I think that's kind of the idea of the fence, but I've talked to him about it, and he knows it has to be like a low fence that's
Yeah.
see-through, so.
There's already a place there.
Yeah, there is, and, you know, a little privacy, I would understand it in the back, towards the back, but I don't wanna see fence across the back by the creek either,
No,
so,
any fence has to come back.
Yeah, so just wanna let you know about that.
Yeah.
In the same vein, I had someone come in to apply for a COA that I just wanted to inform you about. He's at 1580 Main Street. He already bought this 6-foot tall hog fence that he wants to put up in his front yard. And I was like, they're not gonna let you do that, and he was very upset, and he said he's gonna do it anyway, so just keep an eye out.
Oh, so have somebody keep an eye on 1580.
Check on it.
Yeah.
It's on the corner, what's his name?
It's on the corner of Main and 15? No.
is that,
It's on 8.
15, yeah,
16th of May.
yeah, well, there isn't a 16.
I'm trying to think where that
it's not in Lane McCoy's old house.
No, they way down.
Oh, okay, the one, I
Well,
don't,
that
one-
little
The
triangle.
one with the weird back on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
it's cut off
I'm trying to
triangle.
park in front of it.
A 16-foot fence?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Something now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to.
We look at our properties, and we have some
It's got that
people are very upset with us, but no, you can't do your privacy.
Yeah, where it cuts off your property line.
He did point out to me that there was someone near him,
Oh, we know those guys.
yes, that has a similar fence. And I went and looked at
Not
that
in the front
address.
yard anymore, they don't.
I wanna
It's just 2
say,
houses down.
yeah,
Yeah.
1716 something, that might be a different one, but.
No, it's on Main. And it's also got an ugly concrete.
Okay.
Just because they can find another one doesn't mean it's, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and then I've also been looking into like what my job is for you guys, and Cindy and I have been talking about it a lot. I've also inquired with a bunch of CLGs in Colorado that have similar functionality to us. Most of the people that I've emailed are full-time planners or Historic Preservation Commission staff, with the exception of Idaho Springs. John is also an assistant administrator. And so, you know, still waiting to hear back from most of them because of the email problem, probably maybe the holidays, I don't, they haven't come up, so. But the overall categories are like me dealing with applications, obviously, but then also Cindy and I were talking about projects that we can do as a DRC and like what my role is there, so again, I will have a more, yeah, I'll have a more full report for you next meeting on that, so.
We can keep you busy, though.
Oh, I can tell, I can tell.
Okay, demolition by neglect.
Yes, and if you look at the back of your packet, there is a copy of the letters that I've sent, or that Rick has sent. um, For 700 House Street. Our most recent one is pretty brief. It's just informing him that we are going to begin filing paperwork if he doesn't contact us immediately. So we're waiting for the post office to confirm that he's received that letter, which should have been yesterday, but I didn't check the mail today because I don't have the key and Jen and Mary were gone, so.
You know, it's a very hard thing to do, but if we just leave it perpetually undone, then there's no sense in having that ordinance.
Yeah.
And how many letters are we in and how many phone calls to this particular, I mean, this is letter 4, isn't it?
For this property, and he
Yes.
owns the one next to it, which I know we've contacted him about as well, so.
Yeah,
Well,
it's sad.
once in a while you keep at them, and they did put a new roof, on the, across the street.
Yeah,
Finally,
yeah, but
so
But
it's
this
just,
one's been,
Yeah.
there's a list of exactly,
well, it's shiny now, there's no paint left on the south side, it's all sandblasted off, it's siding.
yeah, must be painted to save the siding.
Well, I mean, if it's aluminum siding, I would challenge that. It would be-
Well, that's,
it's-
it shouldn't be, but yet it's so old, how long has that been there?
But I mean, in terms of it
It's
not
safe.
providing protection,
Yeah.
it certainly does, because it's metal, you don't like the color.
And it's
now
not
shiny.
It's shiny.
Would never have improved the siding had they asked about it.
Well, I don't know the siding,
Oh,
probably
it's
did
been
that
there.
long before.
No. Unfortunately, not, it just went on like that.
That's new, well,
No, I mean,
No,
it's,
it's not
it's
new.
it's old.
It's old.
Been on it for a long time.
But. So am I.
You're still very shiny.
you're still shiny.
Yeah, it was not always us.
Okay, 1211 Argentine, the crazy horse.
Now, I would like to, yeah, oh, yeah, okay. The crazy horse, that's a whole different subject,
Signs still up.
right? Where are we with the crazy horse?
Sorry, I was texting.
On Facebook.
Okay, been tasked to do other projects, and say, following up, and as we.
Okay.
We have no movement from the crazy horse from the last conversation that I've had. I've tried to meet with him. I've gone by, I've left letters on vehicles, please contact me. And then, no more response back.
What is, that I guess moves to the next stage of what is the. what is the-
He did block out his sign that was on the building. But his other sign, he argues that it's just he calls like a Trump Tower. It's just the name of his building, it's not a business per se. Since,
I was gonna name this building, I have a couple of other names.
so that's his
Tell him
argument,
to
is-
smell
That's not even the historic name for this building.
but he does not want to, or he's willing to fight to not take down the name of his building, because it's not a business, it's just a building name. We were in the process, I did submit details to Safe Built, because I believe the last time we left off, I found reports where it said that the building was condemned and that he was given permission to bring it back, allow contractors to start working. However, he was supposed to submit details of what he was gonna do, and they were supposed to do inspections. And there's been no communication from Safebuilt to him.
Yeah.
Or their inspectors to allow them to come back. But he did communicate in his letter, the one that I had a hard time reading. Cause I can read cursive, it's in cursive, but it's it's misspelled, it's really bad, it's hard. Jim Yatsky and I spent a long time trying to interpret what this was trying to say. And it's like, I can say it was 10 pages of handwritten. Yeah, so it was very intense. We spent time, but it did seem like he had a desire to rent it out to another, business so he can bring income in there. However, none of us have been in there. He had communicated that it was a storage in the past, but I was like, you have to get a special use permit to allow storage. You just don't have a use by right. So we relayed those things, but he never responded back to me trying to actually have a conversation.
What about all the stuff behind the building? Isn't that some kind of a hazard? I mean, it's like a town dump behind the building, I mean, it's got, you name it, it's there.
That was an antique shop.
The stuff is not.
It's junk.
Yeah, so,
In a sense.
Is it time to ask Jerry whether?
yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's time for me to talk to Jerry about,
Yes.
because we only have one officer at the moment. That's on call and making calls, and we don't have code enforcement per se, so we're gonna have to decide how we're gonna go about it. So,
Yes, but,
I will speak to Jerry about
what is
this.
our legal position on there? Because I think that if somebody got in there, that likely that the whole building would be condemned. As far, it's very likely, because I think it was at one point, so I think this becomes a legal issue. I also, moving on to the next one, I know that, Mark is in charge of doing something, but do we have anything in writing about what's happening? Then I think that we also put another letter out onto Koski and make sure that Mark gets that letter also. We need something in writing.
All the time that is gone, we're getting back to the backside.
Yeah.
This is the gray house on Rose?
Yes,
That's fine. Next door.
yes, yes.
You can-
The landlord.
Here's my landlord.
Um,
Huh?
Good to go.
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
I got the crazy lights for Christmas.
About the Holy House, the state of Colorado, has signed a contract with Silver Plume Home Services to, actually restore, not just repair. They want it fully restored, every little molding has got to be the same size as every little molding was, which is what Tim is telling me is that it means you're getting different molding knives, because that's, they just, so they're really, they will meet up there Wednesday. The work obviously cannot be done until springtime.
Nice. Nice, I'm glad to hear that.
But that
Exterior only?
contract is.
Exterior or interior?
In the exterior, just the whole porch, the front porch place really needs that. And they will talk about the window trims. He doesn't know how much of that because of the way the board, the state has a few decisions. History Colorado has accepted his contract and, they're under contract. So that is their contract. It's a fabulous house. I mean, it's a truly fabulous house, and it's our first brick structure, 1868. And the bricks, we didn't have a brickyard at that time in Georgetown. They were hauled up from Denver. Now you think about that in 1868. We scarcely had a road. We didn't have a train. So anyway, I think the Holy House, I don't know what purpose they will decide to try to put it to, but I think they just sort of woken up the fact that they are.
Yeah. And it's great, and it's worth fixing up.
And it's worth fixing up, yes, it's.
So are they just doing the porch restore, or are they gonna go through the whole house?
I think the porch is what we put on our list because, and the deterioration of other,
Yeah,
the trends. And so that's what the initial thing, but you start them out on a good restoration and hopefully.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that they're gonna put the money in to do that, well, make it so you can use them.
Yeah, yes, but But as far as what we wrote down on these, that's what's on the contract.
And me and Brett were gonna fight to see if who could get it.
That would be an awesome house.
You should have bought it before they fixed it up.
I know.
Excel update, the Excel update, it could go on for a whole long time, so we won't. Basically, the Excel, task force continues to meet. We have put in a little proposal of some mitigation, so we learn how, we update the structural assessment on the powerhouse. So that if HCI or any agency in this town is going to accept the powerhouse, they know what they're getting into. So that's in process. The MOU, which I will have to remind Jerry about, is being written between Town of Georgetown and Guthrie County and HCI, because we're all property owners alongside the Excel properties, and that we will not issue permits for access or anything without discussing it with each other. So we have a little bit of a combined approach to Excel. What Brent, what you are doing is major, actually.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely, because what Brent's doing is every time Excel puts anything onto the FERC website, it automatically comes into his world, and he collects it up and says, this is what you got. Now, a lot of it is redacted, but the first 5 things last time were not redacted, they were letters. And what it let us know is that over the last 2.5 years, Excel's management in this field has undergone just sweeping changes, which explains a lot of the kind of sort of footstepping that everybody's doing. It really does. The other thing, which was sort of marvelous fun, is that the thing that was redacted was the new emergency plan. Well, Bob got the old emergency plan from the Division of Water Resources. And the most fascinating part is that in a state of emergency, they have a list of people, that list of agencies they will inform. Guess who's not on the list? The town of Georgetown. I mean, you're gonna go to county, you're gonna go to Golden, you're going to go to Jefferson County, you're gonna do all of this. Who's not on the list? Now, maybe I'm the one that was redacted. But we learned a lot from the letters that they just put in, you know, and part of it, I mean, we learned about the whole restructuring they're going on internally, which tells you a lot about what's happening from, you know, to them internally. It also tells us that they tend to want to blame us in those letters for not getting watershed permits and things. But what FERC was interested in was the fact that they were trying to proceed without an up-to-date emergency plan. So we begin to be able to see their negotiation with FERC. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yes, cool is right. Cool is right. So please stay true to them.
Sure. No problem. You should check it about once a week.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, but it has been a significant help.
Yeah, and I did get from the Division of Water Resources, all of their files. Relating, it's like 450 megabytes or gigabytes. It's like 80 documents, going all the way back to some early pictures like 1906.
The very first thing.
And I finally got them on a flash drive, and I'm gonna give it to Brett, and he'll put it in with all the other stuff.
Right.
If you have an interest, they send an index with it, which is an Excel spreadsheet, which that's easy, I can send that to people.
I think you should send the index out.
I'll send the index to everybody here, just so that you know what's there. I've got them all, and most are either TIFF or PDF files, so I can, if you have something of interest, that you wanna look at, I can get it to you. That's where I found the emergency notification plan. And I noticed that they just filed the current one, like in the stuff that Fred had.
Yeah, which
But you don't have the current one,
no, because it was redacted,
Because it
and it
just,
wasn't on what you got.
yeah.
mine went up to like mid-November, mid-December of this year.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back and talk to the guy, the head of the dam inspection group there, and see if he can send me a copy of the latest one, and see if we're on.
Well, once I get that, I'll organize it and see what we got there.
I
They can
just
just
received
something
it today, and I'm looking through it right now.
Oh, you
See if I
did,
can-
they sent it to us, so the town, oh, that's good.
Okay, that's an
That
improvement.
means that hopefully we're on the list.
Well, the other thing that interests.
Well, my email was connected to it, and it allows me to open it up. So I'm looking at the document just to see if our name is.
Is this their new emergency action plan?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, I have the new one right now that I just received today.
good. Will you send it to us?
Well, it's linked into their system that you have to have permission, and I'm looking at the document, and if I can find a way to, like forward it or download it, then I will.
We can do
Okay.
that, screenshot.
Good. The
It's a
other
long,
one.
yeah, it's probably like 100 pages.
Though is, they've put up these sirens in town. And they've never, they talk about the sirens, but they've never done a siren,
Yes.
have they?
They have not, but they are getting ready to. The first test should happen in early March. And we need to just put the word out so that people aren't surprised
I'm
by,
terrified.
yeah. So, yeah,
Yes, the sirens are huge. And they're-
yes, they are.
We have a flyer, it will start going to all of our publications and media and newspaper, and, when is it, March the sixth?
We're putting them on the water.
It's gonna be on the first, the monthly test is gonna be the first Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m.
A monthly test?
Well, we talked about other time spans, but if you
People are
do
gonna
it.
ignore it.
Well, but no, I don't think they will ignore it. I mean, back in the Midwest, they have periodic and frequent tornado tests.
For like 6 months, I think.
Well, but if you only run it every 6 months, they're gonna forget what it is. Do you have to notify them ahead of every testing then? If you start doing it monthly, they can go, oh, it's the first Wednesday, I know what that is.
What if a disaster happens on the?
Yeah, but
That's your problem.
the test will actually identify itself as a test.
Okay.
The real event will not. So,
Yeah, well, and well, it's interesting, you see, I think in all the time that they keep saying, well, they can't keep going with this decommissioning because the town of Georgetown isn't cooperative about their watershed protection permits. They can't keep going without getting all of this done for FERC. I mean,
I know.
FERC is saying you can't move with, you can't decommission this thing, you can't be messing up there when you have no emergency action plan.
Well, by the time the siren goes off, the water's already in. 8 minutes ago, the water was already here.
No, it's not.
It's short, the water's here before the notification gets out.
Yeah, so why do we have it?
Climb to safety.
But it's not much.
But it's not much water.
I know I think it was that emergency response report, it shows kind of the flood map and, it's, that much water.
The small little bit.
It's not like we're gonna be washed out into boulders.
Yeah, and the
Well,
other
yeah,
structure is like they had, its head is their own powerhouse. Yeah. Actually, yeah, it doesn't get structures, so it's interesting. Anyway, that's probably enough on the so thank you. I would like to suggest that we inform the person at 312, 313 Powell Street that he is in violation of the certificate, that he has no certificate of appropriateness, that he is in violation of the ordinance, and we understand that he needed to get a, encroachment license, he's got it. And so if we don't see something from him, I will personally sign a complaint.
So he's going out there with a sledgehammer, taking out those.
No, I'm good, but, you know, he said that he would be here promptly after he, you know, this was a whole thing and his encroachment license was a month or so ago. There's no excuse.
Good, okay.
What about 1036 Rose?
I
Did you
don't
ever
know.
get feedback on all the stuff that they were supposed to do, that they haven't done? Or
They've
something
done
they
a
haven't
lot.
done any?
Well,
Haven't they?
and some have done,
They did the garage door, they did
The painting, all they did is the painting.
Okay, I don't know what the rest of the list was. I know that they had fixed the garage back in.
I was gonna say I finally found it on the EAP, we were listed on there.
Oh, good. That's nice.
But we're the third down listed.
We should be first, but
Clear
yeah.
Creek County Sheriff's Office. Then Clear Creek County Office of Emergency Management and then Town of Georgetown.
Good.
Okay,
So,
good, we're good. That really was fun. I never thought it would be.
That's true. Minute approval for December 14th minutes.
I would like to congratulate our non-resident minute taker, because that meeting was.
That was tough.
It was a whole wreck, and I apologize, but it was convoluted with.
No, it's your fault. I was,
So I have one thing though. You're good. Because under roll call,
but I don't think I have them.
it's all commas and so it
We
says,
made it period.
yeah, where does the period go? I wasn't there, and Mark wasn't there,
You weren't there, Mark wasn't there,
and Brett wasn't there.
and Brett wasn't there.
So the period goes after Betsy. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Period after Betsy.
Yeah, and then the others were not there. I did notice that, but I looked at it, thought, how did she do that?
She's good. But the rest of it's perfect. Very nice.
It really is. I meant move that we accept the minutes as corrected with the period.
Like,
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess. Okay.
One more thing, do you guys like the way I put the packet together with the staff report on the top and then everything else separated out as exhibits?
It's exactly what was.
Mine was on the top, but
Mine was.
Well, sorry, like this piece with the staff report.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the top under the agenda.
yeah, I like this.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I like separation.
Yeah,
Right.
that
And you know what?
is.
Did you print those? Did you print those pink sheets?
Well, the original one, no, but then we copied all of them, so yes.
Because I used to always just take them out and give them back to Jen, because there's no point in printing them every week. We could all just throw them.
Well, I did write on it,
Oh,
but.
Yeah.
okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Same paper, same ink. All right. Yeah, so, do you want all of these then? All of my documents? Oh, let's
No,
adjourn.
I do need yes, the CLA for Bighorn, the decision form.
Okay, and then I did not have one for.
The Minehans didn't need one, I don't think, because they already were approved.
Okay, we just approved it.
Yeah.
And then these minutes,